Sure. My name is Jason Schiffer. I'm the Chief of Police at Lehigh University. I worked as a police officer in the city of Bethlehem for 20 years and retired as the Chief of Police there. The perception of crime, specifically in South Bethlehem, is far more than what the statistics show. I think a lot of people have the impression that South Bethlehem might even be unsafe, or that there is a very large amount of crime that occurs in this area. But statistically, that's really not the case. It's still one of the safer cities in Pennsylvania, and we are far below the crime rate, national average crime rate. So, I don't know exactly where the perception always seems to come from, but that's something I think that we've battled here in the city, and specifically on the south side, for many years. I just don't see that the statistics really bear that out. I think numerically the most common crimes are your less serious crimes. Property crimes, are certainly like the most common. We have, I think, very few violent crimes against people, and very few random violent crimes against people. It's not necessarily like an unsafe place to walk around town. It's not like we have people getting robbed and that sort of thing out on the street. I'd say most crimes that are occurring against people are people that know one another, or domestic type situations, or situations where somebody has something against a certain individual. There certainly hasn't been a crime wave. It has brought in a lot more people and traffic and things like that, and you're always going to have somewhat of an increase in activity and potential crime when you have just more people around. But it has not been a major change in the crime that we've experienced here in the city. As far as the change over the past decade, again, I think we've had some increase maybe just in like lower level crimes because of the maybe increase in the amount of people in the area, but really hasn't been much of a change at all. Certainly, I don't perceive it as to be a negative change. The theory would be people with gambling issues are resorting to petty thefts to try to get money to gamble, and perhaps that has happened, but I don't think on any type of scale that would show up even statistically. There have been instances, and there are headline grabbing type instances. There are certainly times where people have done horrendous types of things, like left their children unattended in a car while they go in to gamble. And I think when you look at numerically how many people are coming through the casino on a regular basis versus the number of times that something like that has happened, it's statistically completely insignificant, although it's a very, very serious issue when it does occur. So again, I don't think it's been something that's caused a lot of problems overall. Like, it's not something that happens every day. Perhaps, but I mean, it's hard to imagine anything that could have come there that would draw as many visitors. Even a full-scale shopping mall probably wouldn't bring in that many individuals. Although I think you'd have the same type of, if you have an individual who would try to enter unlocked vehicles in a parking lot, they're going to do that whether it's a casino or a shopping mall or a restaurant, or so I don't know that really would have changed. Certainly there's an element of alcohol that's involved with the casino and the event center, and you're going to have crimes that flow from that, but I don't see that the casino in and of itself has created that many more. Like I mentioned earlier about, some of those people that have left their children in their car to go and gamble. That's unique, but I don't really see that. If something else would have come there that drew that many people, I don't really think we're experiencing crime now that we wouldn't have with, anything else. Where the Pennsylvania law requires that all instances of crime on the casino floor are handled by the Pennsylvania State Police. They have a specific unit, and they have state troopers that work there on the floor. So they handle everything that might happen on the casino floor, and there doesn't have to be, there is definitely cooperation between the state troopers there and the Bethlehem police when it's required, but it's a very clear jurisdictional line. Like if it's happened on the casino floor, it's theirs. If it's off the casino floors, it's the city of Bethlehem's. And then you have Sands Security, who kind of work, they're like kind of in the middle of both, and they have obviously many cameras, and they have quite a sophisticated operation there, and they work very well and closely with law enforcement, whether it's the state or the city, to help deal with anything that might happen on any of their property. Sure. I think fortunately the way the laws were drafted in Pennsylvania, that really helped law enforcement. So they wanted to make sure that you weren't allowed to have certain things in close proximity to the casino, like pawn shops and everything. So it was very tightly drafted the way that legislation was. So, to ensure that we wouldn't have an area created around the casino that would attract a lot of crime. So I think that helped law enforcement. And we worked, closely with, all the officials from the casino prior to the casino opening, and just trying to anticipate what might come, whether it's traffic-wise or, crime-related incidents. And I would say by and large, a lot of the fears never came to be. Now, whether that was because it was good planning or the crime never would have occurred, from our standpoint, it really didn't matter. The bad things just didn't seem to happen. Of course, we had more traffic accidents because there's so many more cars and things like that, but nothing, the world didn't come to an end. I think they have done a really good job of being a good partner with the community. So I'd like to see that continue or even increase. There was a lot of development has happened because of the casino, but there's still a lot that could be improved. The number 2 machine shop, and there's just hundreds of acres of land that are yet to be developed. So I don't think any of that would have happened in any of the shopping areas that are down there currently wouldn't exist at all if it weren't for the casino. So I'd like to see that continued partnership, with the local community and local law enforcement, and the expansion of the development that's already started. So I'm kind of excited about that possibility. If it weren't for the casino, I pretty much believe that entire area where the steel would still be a dormant area that would, not contributing at all to our community. So I'm excited about that possibility of new ownership coming in.